Hello, boys and girls. We're going to do an art activity for November, and it has a lot to do with food, maybe foods that you really like. We talk about food in November, especially because harvest time has been taking place through October to November, and so many good foods are ripe and ready to pick or harvest. And then we gather in November. This year might be a little different, but we give thanks. Thanksgiving is a time for family and people we care about, being grateful and thankful for those people and for the food that we have. So I picked a food that most kids like. You can let me know if you do or do not like spaghetti. Okay, now this isn't spaghetti, is it? It's an art project. So your spaghetti is going to be made out of yarn and some paint and some glue and a paper plate. And Mrs. Flores loves this activity. She made you all the pieces that will be in your packet, and she even cut out little meatballs, because what's spaghetti without meatballs, right? And a brush, or you can finger paint this. It's up to you, and discuss with your grown-ups where you're going to do this. Hopefully the weather is still good enough that maybe you can go put a plastic tablecloth out on the patio and do this outdoors. I will start with, I think I'll start with some paint. So you're going to have some brown paint in your packet, and that is for a different project for handprints that will turn into a turkey. But you can also save a little. I don't know right now if you've already done the handprint turkey or not, but if you save a little paint, I'm going to put it right on my plate, and parents, you might want to mix this in a little cup or a washable bowl. And then, think ahead of covering your area and have a hand washing capability nearby. I'm going to mix a little brown and a little, I think, red. Yeah, this is red. Because spaghetti sauce is kind of brownish red, don't you think? Yeah. And I have two boys who are grown up now, but one of them is a really picky eater, and I'll tell you, he's not big on sauce. So he would have enough sauce to give the noodles some color. And then my other son would pour on the sauce. So I know not everybody has spaghetti for their favorite, but I'd like to hear from you on what your favorite foods are. So you can use your fingers if you decide with your parents that you're finger painting, or you can use a brush. You can even put on a plastic glove and finger paint if you don't want the mess, or you could use a tissue or a sponge. You have a lot of options for what you want to pretend is your brush, because I know you may not have a brush like mine. So I'm going to swirl this around so the colors mix. We did some color mixing in October, but I'm going to mix it and spread my sauce around. So I kind of get two things accomplished in one. I get my sauce color, that's kind of a nice brownish red, and just like real spaghetti, it kind of gets all over your plate. So make sure you go out where the sauce will show, because we are going to pile noodles up in the middle of this. Now that might be all you want to do, families, on the first day, because you'll want your packet to dry. You'll want your project to dry. But for the sake of showing you on video, I'm just going to go ahead and continue on. So pretend that I laid this down overnight and it's dry. I'm going to take my glue, and we're going to take some yellow or white or beige yarn, whatever you have, and pretend that's our spaghetti noodles, okay? Little short pieces, and we're going to think about our straight lines and our curves, just like when we do our letters. So I'm going to do mine in a pattern. You can do yours however you want. You can get some grown-up help squeezing this glue if it's tough. I'm going to curve like C, and then straight line. And then curve like letter C, and straight line. But you do it the way you want. Curve like letter C, straight line, curve, straight line, curve, straight line. That sure is a pattern, isn't it? Curve and straight line. Okay. And that's where I want to put my yarn that I'm using like noodles. So here we go. And just lay it on. And this will be the part that peeks out from under your noodles that are covered with sauce and meatballs. Yum. This project might make us hungry. Okay, so we are going to continue on. You continue on until all of your little yellow noodles show. And then Mrs. Flores informed me, and it made me think, wow, people not only like different foods, but they might eat the same food in totally different ways. So she informed me that she likes her noodles coated with sauce. So we're going to take some red. We're going to pretend that's the noodles that already have sauce. And we're going to swirl it around, stick it in your glue. If you eat it this way or not, you can decide if you're doing this or not. And we're going to make a big pile of noodles. Mrs. Clark kind of keeps her noodles separate from the sauce until I scoop one bite. But Mrs. Flores told me, oh no, I got to stir mine all up before I'm ready to eat. So I know all different people have all different ways for their favorites. And that's what makes the world interesting. Okay, so I'm going to take my meatballs and I'm going to put glue on top of those noodles and then lay some meatballs on. I don't want to overdo it. I think I'll just do 3 meatballs. So there they are. Spaghetti and meatballs. Yum. Okay, so you have a project to talk about your Thanksgiving food. I don't know if you eat spaghetti on Thanksgiving. You could. I bet you eat something different. But I'd love to see your spaghetti project. And then boys and girls, please send me pictures of your work. Okay? Have a great day. Enjoy your food.